Hello, everyone, and welcome to Seattle Across the Pond, a sports podcast about the important things in sports. My name is Ankit Madira, and as always, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Eric Imperio. Eric, how are you doing?
Doing good. Hot, but I'm doing great.
It has picked up. For anyone who is wondering, yes, I am officially back over stateside, and there is a smaller pond in between me and Eric. The request has not been put in, but if a request is put in, we will figure out the name of a smaller pond in between me and Eric. But don't worry,
Yes.
Nevertheless, there is still a pond. So we are back this week, and it has picked up in temperature. Not as bad as what I was dealing with previously, but I wasn't traveling outdoors as much in that, and now I'm traveling outdoors, so it's hot. Lovely.
Yeah.
Why don't we jump into things, Eric? We got a fun-filled episode here.
We do. Yeah.
Lovely.
Let's do it.
So before we can get started, we gotta go get ready in our locker room. Now, Eric, first things first.
I'm prepared for this. Getting ready in the locker room today.
You're prepared.
You ready for
All
this
right,
part?
what do we got in the locker room today? We gotta get ready.
Oh, this did not work with the headphones, but it's supposed to be a helmet. That did not work.
Is that a beer helmet?
No, it's like here. I will not be able to hear you for a second.
Okay.
It is a race car helmet.
Nice.
Wait. Now let's try.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
I know what you're doing for the rest of the episode. We don't need to see your mouth. Lovely. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. Eric's prepared in the locker room. I don't have anything fun like that. If I do get anything fun, I will wear it in future episodes. Currently, nothing fun. So, wonderful. Eric, anything else other than, I guess, what you're going to talk about? So, like, we won't spoil it now, but, like, anything else happening in the life of Eric?
There was a 4th of July. I hope everybody had a safe one and had fun.
Woo. Nice. Yeah, for me, same old, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to hear more podcasts and hear more about what I do, what I do at other times, like, films and theater and different things like that, then go check out Post Finale, which is a podcast where I watch films for the first time and give my thoughts, my opinions. I always try to have on interesting guests. There's always a guest that has seen the film before. So if you were listening to this as this episode comes out, we will have just started episodes on the Twister movie, the original one from the 1990s. And let's just say it's a hoot. If you also want to check out Flip the Scripts, it's available wherever you listen to podcasts as well. And you can do that. That one's all about adaptations along with my friend Steven. It's a very fun time. And we are having a very, very good time about that. And we are finishing up Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Netflix series. We finally made it to episode 8, and we're finishing that up at the end of this week on Friday. New episodes for that release every Friday. If you want to follow us on Instagram, follow co-op_forge, CO_OPFORGE to keep up to date on all the shows. If you just want updates from this show, follow SATP Sports on Instagram, and that is it. Co-op Forge can also be found on TikTok. Again, the CO_OPFORGE for as long as TikTok is still around, because we don't know how long that's going to be a thing. I think I've covered everything, Eric. Yes?
I think so.
Lovely. Why don't we jump into things? You seem very prepped, so should we go with you and you get to start off? What are we talking about this week? What are we learning about?
Yes. Let me quickly go over. If nobody heard, the Kraken now have an assistant coach, or 2 assistant coaches.
Oh, right. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen. I guess Seattle sports things. I forgot about this. We are technically a Seattle-based show. Seattle sports things. Yes, I did see that. All I know is that it's a female head coach, assistant coach.
Yes. First woman to hold an NHL coaching job. She was the assistant coach for the Firebirds as well. Yes, congrats.
Congrats. Let's go.
I did hear that she said, it's fine that I'm the first, but I don't want to be the last. Something like that. And
fair enough.
I appreciate the statement.
I appreciate it. Look, When I saw that she got hired, I didn't even bat an eye. I didn't even realize that she was the first. I was just like, sweet, I'm assuming she's competent. Please let her be competent. This was my only thought.
Right.
I like, great that she's the first. So proud of the Kraken for doing that. But also, like, didn't even cross my mind. Like, literally the only thing I cared about was like, is she good at her job? Can she be good at her job? I want her to be good at her job. Like, that was it.
Right. The first thing I did was like, oh, where did she coach before? And then like 5-6 posts later, I saw, oh, she's the first woman in the NHL. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay. And I love that. And I feel like that's how coaching hires should be. We should just be like, great, we want them to be good at their job. It doesn't matter. Like, other things don't matter.
Exactly.
Like, be a decent human, be good at your job. Those are the 2 requirements.
Yeah. And then the other assistant would be Bob Woods.
Let's go, Bob.
He's supposed to be the power play and the defenseman kind of guy, which are both needed. So
cool.
Honestly, everything is needed.
I'm not gonna lie. I already forgot the name of the head coach and the other assistant coach. Could you refresh us on who the new coaching staff is?
Okay. Head coach Dan Blazema.
Okay.
AKA Disco Dan. If you forget, just call him Disco Dan.
Beautiful. There better be a disco night. I think we've had this joke.
I think we have, and I think there should be. If not, I'm just going to bring the disco ball, I guess.
We will make this happen.
Or like little wand disco lights? Yeah, something like that.
Here's the thing, Eric. I also am back in the Seattle area. Between the 2 of us, we will make it disco night.
We will make it happen. Okay. And then we have assistant coach Jessica Campbell, and then another assistant coach, Bob Woods.
Lovely. Okay. Yes. Anything else interesting happening?
The draft for the NHL and the NBA happened.
Oh, right. That happened from the last time we recorded, because I forgot that was 3 weeks ago for us because schedules.
Yes. I think the best part is I was browsing Reddit, and Sandwich Attack, you should see it in the notes, posted a photo. Maybe it'll be here. Maybe Ankit will put it somewhere. And it says, it's Captain Crunch's Oops All Centers. And it's hilarious.
Fantastic.
Yes. Because the first 3 people we drafted were centers.
Okay.
And not to be disappointed, we did draft another center later. Out of 7 players. No.
Okay.
I'm wrong. Out of 8.
And I'm assuming that's the NHL draft and not the NBA draft?
That was the NHL draft, yes.
Okay. NBA draft, what do we got?
For the NBA draft, it's kind of, oops, we traded all the players away.
For any of our audio listeners, I am nodding vigorously.
Yeah. The Blazers traded all but 1 pick away. That was their number 7 pick overall. That was Donovan Clean. He's staying. And then we traded everybody else away.
You know what?
It's not notable.
Not gonna lie, I think the Blazers did the right thing by just trading and getting draft capital for future drafts.
Yes. I say they traded everybody away. All of the experts say that this was a kind of draft, B plus, A minus, A kind of area. So,
yeah,
if you're curious, they did the right thing.
They did. I think that like the positions that did have a little more depth to it, I don't know if it was the positions that the Blazers needed to focus on, because there were a lot of guards in this draft. There were some big men, but maybe not big men that they were really interested in. So it made sense. Like, trade away. I mean, everyone's still kind of on rookie scale deals. Give the young guys more playing time and build up draft capital. Do what the Thunder did. Be bad for a bit and then just have an amazing team instantly. Yeah.
Right. They did pick up 1 player by trading away Malcolm Brogdon. So if anybody watched the season last year, they might be sad Brogdon will be gone. But we're getting Denny Avdija.
Avdija.
I said that right. Avdija. Yeah. So
cool.
That's it for the Blazers.
I know that I'm more of the NBA guy. I don't really know who Danny is. Sorry.
I looked at his field goal percentage because I
Mm-hmm.
thought that'd be a curious stat to look. It was 50% last year.
Cool.
So that seemed like a decent thing to me. You say 50%, cool, good. I like it.
Sure. Yeah. Lovely. Anything else happening? I know that the Sounders won a game.
What? Yes, the Sounders did win quite a few games. Actually, we kind of just like stopped covering sports in depth, and the Sounders decided, oh, now we can play good.
Oh, okay, cool. I saw Jordan Morris like sprinted down the entire pitch and scored a goal, and I was like, oh, this is
Right.
2016 Jordan Morris. He has reemerged.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
The Sounders are undefeated since we've talked last. It's quite crazy.
Lovely. Great. Sounders, keep doing that. I don't want you to end in last place.
Keep going. Yeah. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep
Have
up.
the Rain won?
The Rain, sadly, have not gotten the memo that we stopped in-depth sports coverage, and they have drawn every match since we've talked about it.
Maybe we need to write them a physical letter. That might be the only way that they get the memo.
I think they haven't been paying attention to social media recently. Yeah.
You know what? That's understandable because they should probably be focusing on the pitch.
Yeah.
So,
luckily, they'll have
draws are an improvement. That's all I'm gonna say.
They are an improvement. Luckily, they have a break until the end of August. So they were
right. All sports are going to be taking breaks. I think baseball as well. Yes.
I don't think baseball is.
Is baseball not in the Olympics this year, or is it the next set of Olympics
this year?
Okay, it's coming back in 2028 then.
Yes, because of USA.
Okay, sure.
I think we're also going to have flag football
in 2028. Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. Cool. I just didn't remember if baseball was or not.
Yeah. We're on baseball.
Sports are
Mariners
taking a pause.
Are on first.
Yeah. Woo! WNBA Storm are doing Storm things and winning.
Storm are doing Storm things and winning. They're 14-7. They are 4th overall in the WNBA. Yeah,
I mean they're doing their thing. Now that I'm back, we got to figure out when we're going to a game because I want to go to a game.
We do have to figure that out. Yes.
We'll chat afterwards.
We will chat.
And it'll be a lovely time. And the boys will get together. We'll post fun things on social media on our excursion into Seattle. But yes. Wonderful. I think that's all of the Seattle sports because no one else has really done anything interesting. Correct. Off season. Lovely. Why don't we talk about the reason you have a helmet on your head?
Yeah. So for anybody that does not know or didn't see the last episode, I went to Formula E with my wife and her friend. Her friend is a very big motorsports fan. I like motorsports a lot. This was my first live race. And if you don't know, Formula E is electric vehicles. So there's no big loud engines.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what Formula E is.
Yes.
Okay. I have understood now.
So I was there, and they were giving out these lovely helmets for safety.
You were like, I know what I need.
I knew exactly what I was going to use it for, and I've been waiting 2 weeks for that, or 3 weeks for this joke.
Well done, my friend. You can be proud to know that at least one person in this world enjoyed your joke, and that was me. I hope other people enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy the joke, maybe boost his ego a little bit. Just drop it in the comments. Let us know. It would be nice. Just a kind comment of I loved your helmet. If you didn't like the helmet, keep it to yourself. We don't need negativity.
Yeah. It'd be appreciated. Okay. We can get way more in depth on this. This was the second year.
How does Formula E work? Like, what are the rules? What was the race that you watched? I know nothing about Formula E. Ladies and gentlemen, this entire episode is going to be learning about sports the other one doesn't know a whole lot about.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
What is Formula E? Great question. The too long. Don't read it. Whatever you want to call it. It's just electric F1.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this started in 2014. The races are known as E-Prix instead of, I think, Grand Prix for F1. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're probably more well versed in motorsports than I am.
Sure. Like F1, there is a team and a driver champion crowned each year. In Formula E, teams are made of 2 drivers, and together they earn points. Whichever
Tag
team
team?
has no, they
Or
race at
two
the same
separate
time.
cars.
2 separate cars.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, that's it. This was the second year in Portland they started in 2014. I told you that. Yes, out of 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the first year. I didn't even hear about it. I saw it this year and I was like, yes, please, let's go. They did 2 races that weekend. I only attended one. It was also very hot in Portland that weekend. But it was very fun, and I didn't feel like getting a hotel room since we don't live that far from Portland.
Okay.
So that was awesome. And it was just it's a lot more lead changes than F1. If someone watches F1 regularly, you'll know that it can be kind of the same person for a while. This is a lot of back and forth. And why it's a lot of back and forth is because they have a thing called attack mode.
Attack
what
mode?
is that? Exactly. What is that? They've video gamified racing a little bit here.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Because I love video game racing.
Right.
Forza, one of my favorite racing games.
Forza's great. We used to play together all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would crash a lot. We would win. We would also crash a lot.
I'm very bad at braking.
You were bad at drifting.
Well, yeah. I'm bad at drifting.
Yeah. Also, objectively, Forza Horizon, significantly, in my opinion, more fun than regular Forza.
Yes. Okay, so you know the radio lady?
Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
The announcer at the race sounded just like the radio lady. I should have looked that up, and I forgot to check.
Looked that up. It's okay.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we look that up later and have an answer, you might find it on our social media.
You might.
No guarantees.
No guarantees. I might forget before this podcast is over.
Yes. We have a lot to talk about. It's a lot of things go in and out of our brains, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, yeah, so there's an attack mode. There are some sensors on some of the corners on the track, and the vehicles or the drivers must intentionally leave the race line. For anybody that doesn't know, that's the optimal line through the corner to drive the fastest, aka win the race.
Okay.
They have to intentionally not drive on that line, and by doing that, their limiter on their power output is increased by 50 kilowatts. And that goes from 300 kilowatts to 350 kilowatts. How much power that actually equates to and how many seconds, I have no clue.
Great. So I was about to ask you that question. I won't.
I mean, I don't know. If this was horsepower, I could probably tell you more. I'm also very new to Formula E. It seems to make a difference.
Okay.
Because they do get back they get their positions back. They seem to be doing okay. Now attack mode is required. They have to take 6 minutes and only 6 minutes. But then they must do it in 2 segments, either 4 and 2 or 3 and 3 during the race.
You've lost me there.
Yeah, so they must do this attack mode. They must leave the line twice during the race. They get the power boost for a total of 6 minutes throughout the race, and they must either take it in a 4-minute section and then a 2-minute section, or the opposite, or take it in 2 3-minute sections.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
Do both team members have to take it at the same time?
No. Essentially the drivers can be considered free for all at this point. at all points, really, during the race.
Okay, so the team only matters in terms of scoring at the end.
Right. Now, like most motorsports that have teams, a driver will attempt to help their teammate in some ways because it doesn't necessarily hurt them. But like if you've ever seen Talladega Nights, it's
No.
gonna be like a okay. Well, for all of our fans that have seen it, it's gonna be like a Ricky Bobby. You've seen it. You're messing with me.
No, I legitimately haven't.
Oh, okay. I think next episode we might just watch Talladega Nights together.
No. We have important things to talk about next episode. I'll have you come on to an episode of Post Finale, and we'll talk about Talladega Nights over there.
Well, for anybody that gets the reference, it's kind of a Ricky Bobby situation.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Surprisingly, even though these are electric vehicles, they can still hit a top speed of 200 miles an hour.
I mean, so can a Tesla.
Well, yeah.
It's not that surprising.
Yeah, but can a Tesla charge... Well, hang on. I didn't do the math on this. Can Tesla charge in 4 minutes?
Oh, hell no.
Because these things can charge in 4 minutes.
So they just have multiple batteries?
No. Do they charge in 4 minutes? No, because no city has the power output to handle 22 cars charging at 600 kilowatts and charging an entire battery in 4
Right,
minutes.
that's what I'm saying. So, like, in a pit stop, they'll come in, and instead of the fuel guy, it'll be a battery change guy.
Now, I think I'm going to hold off on that.
Oh, okay.
I think we're going to answer that more later here. We get into the history a little bit.
Sure, let's jump into history.
Okay. For context, we're on the 3rd generation car. Let's back up. Let's talk about what the 3rd generation car is right now. Okay. In 3rd gen cars, it is now just laps. They do X number of laps, and when those laps are completed, yay, the race is over. Like most motorsports.
Mm-hmm.
Other than like Le Mans 24-hour. Right. There's not a lot of time races to my knowledge. In Portland, this is only 27 laps.
Oh, so it's fast.
It's a 40-minute, 45-minute race. Yes.
Okay.
It's one of the shortest races in motorsports.
And that's specifically in Portland, like other Formula E races are longer?
No, they're all about 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We're going to take a step back. This was just released 2 seasons ago, the Gen 3 car.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, we're in the 10th season now. In the 5th season, they released the Gen 2 car. And this, they raced a 45-minute race plus 1 lap. So again, about the same number of time. Yeah. And that was an upgrade from the first car. And this is why I was holding off on answering your question earlier. Because this was the only time where they actually did need to do pit stops other than like tires. And this pit stop was because they needed to switch cars.
It's incredible. Fantastic.
Yes. So halfway
no
through the
problem.
race, again, this is only like 20 minutes into the race, they would switch cars and then get in another car and drive that car to finish the race off. So hopefully the races get a little longer for those people that are more used to the longer races. I thought 45 minutes is very consumable for TV. You might want it longer if you're going to the races, but there's lots to do. They keep it entertaining.
Fair enough.
On a complete side note, about Formula E, I completely missed this. There was the blonde lady walks up to the waving the flag, like the final, like woo,
Like the checkered flag?
The checkered flag. Yes, the race.
Yes,
is
I know
over.
that. I do know that.
Yes.
I do know that. It signifies. I thought checkered flag signified. Wait, no. Checkered flag is race is over.
Yes.
What's the flag that you wave when it's the final lap? White.
White flag. Yes.
Okay. Not surrender, not give up, not you're done. It's hey,
No.
this is your final flag.
No, this is sprint for the finish, guys. Do your
Sure.
best. Yeah.
Yes. So person came out with checkered flag.
Yeah, so yeah, she comes up, she goes up there. I'm like, okay, cool, random blonde lady I don't know. Cool. And then she's waving it, cool, good job. And then she walks again, still random blonde lady I don't know.
Who was
Turns
the
out
famous blonde lady, Eric?
yeah. So turns out the famous blonde lady was Brie Larson, who
Oh,
plays Miss Marvel. And
he has more fun things, ladies and gentlemen.
shockingly, I have her Funko Pop. So somehow I can't notice her, but I have her Funko Pop.
No. It's because you're used to seeing her in Funko Pop form.
Right. You know.
Yeah.
So sorry, Bree, I did not notice you. Awesome to have you in Portland at Motorsports.
Please accept this humble apology.
Yes.
Fantastic. Lovely.
Now
So,
I'm gonna take this off because I'm absolutely dying of heat.
go for it. Go for it. I'm impressed that you kept it on for your entire segment. And through the power of editing, we're back. I did cut so that none of you had to wait for the awkwardness of Eric taking off the paper cardboard helmet. So, Eric, you did a fun thing and went to an event. I didn't go to an event, but there was an event that we did touch on last time, and I promised our listeners and you that I would help explain this event. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am, of course, talking about the game of cricket, and it kind of took the world by storm, and by the world, I mean the US, because the rest of the world had caught up, and I already knew what this beautiful game was. So it took the USA by storm in June because software engineers became heroes in America for people who didn't know what this sport was. So it's okay. I didn't know what Formula E was. And if you don't know what cricket is, that's fine. We're here to learn. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the theme of this episode, learning about sports you just might not know a lot about. Now, if I missay anything, if anyone listening knows a lot about cricket, and I say something that's out of date or wrong, or I might misstate something, just let us know in the comments. I'm a human. It's been a very busy 10 days, so I may have missed something. And if I do, I apologize in advance. So, cricket. Eric, do you know what cricket is in its essence?
I think of it as like a similar sport to baseball, but way different rules and confusing terms.
Cool. So we will hopefully air all that out. Now, to put it simply, cricket is a bat and ball game. That's where the similarities to baseball end. I'm sorry, there is one other similarity. My mistake. We'll get to that similarity.
Okay.
Yeah. But the gist of it is that it's a bat and ball game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what a cricket pitch looks like, here it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the field. Now, if you look closely in the middle of the field, there is a little piece that is brown. That piece of stretch is technically called the pitch. Yeah?
Let
Now,
me guess, it's where they pitch.
fascinating, Eric. You are doing wonders. Whew. Now, the pitch is 22 yards in length, or 20 meters, and it has a wicket at the end of each end of the pitch. Okay? Now, what is a wicket? It is 3 stumps, all in a line, so 1, 2, 3. And then it has 2 bails, so like 2 little round things with sticks on the end of them. And they sit on top of the 3 wickets. That's what a wicket is. Right? That's all you need to know about the wickets. And they are on opposite ends. Now, cricket is played of 2 teams, and both teams consist of 11 players. Simple enough. Still on board?
Still on board.
Still on board. Okay,
Got it.
so you have a batting team and you have a bowling team. Bowling slash fielding. You usually say the fielding team, not the bowling team. The fielding team and the batting team, and then you have a bowler on the fielding team. So the way that this game works is, unlike baseball, the batting team is the batting team for a while. Now, in cricket, when you are bowling the ball, you get an over. An over consists of 6 balls. After
Okay.
6 balls, you move to the next over. Still on board?
Yes.
Lovely.
Is there
So,
any indication that the like do they switch sides or something to indicate
yes,
that
they
the
switch
over's
sides.
over?
Yeah. So, like,
Okay.
if you're pitching from, say, the pitch goes from left to right, like, just if you're imagining it in your head and you're sitting at it and, like, you see it from a side view, then if the bowler is pitching from the left side, after the over is done, the bowler is now pitching from the right side.
Okay.
And then after the over is done, they go back to the left side. So they do keep switching.
This is very good because sometimes you just forget what's going on, and then you're like, "Wait, what half are we in?" So it's nice when they switch.
There's also a scoreboard,
Well, yeah.
and the scoreboard will show you. So you'll see something like 5.4, right? And so
Okay.
that means that they have bowled 5 full overs, and then they have bowled 4 balls of the next over.
Okay.
So it shows you how many balls have been bowled, and you will have, so 5.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it'll just go to 6.
Okay.
Now here's the other thing. It has to be 5 legal balls.
Legal.
There is something called a wide, which is a wide ball. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about that stuff, like, go look into it. But, like, you can have a wide ball, or you can have a no ball. A no ball is when usually there's like a line on the pitch as well, and the bowler's foot has to be on that line when they bowl. If the bowler's foot is in front of that line when they release the ball, then it is a no ball, and the batting team gets 1 run, and it's a re-ball.
Okay. Like how the pitcher has to have their foot on the little base they have in baseball.
Exactly. Just like that, but because the bowlers run up and then do the fun swinging of the arm
Very
motion.
fun. It looks awesome.
It's very hard to do, but I figured out how to do it. 1, because I have been kind of playing since a young age. It was never like a huge thing that I would play, but like I did play it from a young age. And 2, it's a similar-ish motion to a tennis serve, which is something that I'm very familiar with. So yeah, just like that. So that's how you have an over, right? So now, at different points in different versions of the game, okay? So the version that you just saw happen is the T20 World Cup, which is a limited overs match. Each batting team gets 20 overs to hit as many runs as possible.
Okay.
Now, the way that batting and fielding works and why the scores are all wonky. So, and Americans can't seem to understand it.
Very wonky.
They're not wonky. Americans just can't seem to understand it.
There's
It's
2
okay.
scores.
We're here. Yes and no.
I know.
So, pretty much, the batting team is batting. And the batting team bats either, in the format of the T20 World Cup, they continue batting until either the entire 20 overs have been bowled, and they have run out of their 20 overs. Right? So 20 overs, they get 180 balls in 20 overs. And so after 180 balls, however many runs you have, that's what you have as batting team number 1. Lovely. Now, batting team number 2, so either they can get to 20 overs, or they can get all out. And what that means is you always need 2 batsmen for it to work, because you always have 1 batsman on either end of the pitch. You
Okay.
always need 2 batsmen in cricket. You cannot continue with 1. And that is why you have the number of 11. So if you get 10 people out, it doesn't matter if their overs are done. The game is over.
Okay. Game over.
Yeah. Like their batting is done. Okay?
Got it.
Got it. Lovely. Now, that is the first batting team. The fielding team has done their thing. Beautiful. Let us say, for instance, that the batting team has put up a score of 180. Lovely. Oh, I should probably explain how they can score.
I was about to ask that, but I was yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, there are 3 ways that the batting team can score. The first one, they hit the ball, and the 2 batsmen run back and forth in between the wickets before the ball gets back to the wickets. If there is a line on the ground, if the batsman doesn't have any portion of their body or the bat touching the ground over the line, and the wicket is hit, they're out.
Okay, the wicket is hit. Okay.
Yeah, the wicket has to be hit.
Okay.
Okay? The other 2 ways that they can score runs. If you look at our lovely diagram here, I will pull it back up for ladies and gentlemen. You see that there is an inner field and an outer field as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, different moments, different versions of the game, there are different rules of how many fielders the fielding team can have in the infield, can have in the outfield, etc., etc. I'm not going to get into all of that. Just understand that you have 1 bowler, you have a wicket keeper, kind of like the catcher in baseball, and then everybody else is scattered out around the rest of the field.
Okay.
If the batsman hits a boundary, so they hit it and it goes outside the field of play. If it hits the ground and goes outside the field of play, it's 4 runs. If it doesn't hit the ground and it goes outside the field of play, 6 runs.
Okay.
Those are the ways that they can do that. The way a fielding team can get people out, the first way that I explained was if the batsman is not back in time and the wicket gets hit, that is called a run out, because it means that they are running back and forth. They didn't make it back, they've been run out.
Okay.
Fascinating terminology. The second one is bowled, which literally means the bowler has bowled the ball and it hit the wicket.
Okay.
Now, all that needs to happen for the wicket to be hit, one of the bails needs to fall off. That's it.
Okay, that's it.
So it could literally skim the edge of the wicket as long as it's strong enough to knock that bail off. You're good.
Okay.
In modern cricket now, they also light up and they're like, look at me. Yeah,
flashing lights.
So cool. The third way is the only other similarity to baseball, which is if a fielder catches the ball, they're out.
Hey, fly out.
Fly out.
Hey, I knew that one.
Or they just call it a catch. I mean, everything is just called a wicket.
It's all called a wicket.
Just all called a wicket. Like, if you're watching it, you'll just be like, sitting there, someone will catch it, and it's like it'll flash up on the screen. Wicket.
Wicket. Okay.
Just all called a wicket. Lovely. So that's how the bowling team can get people out. Now, so the batting team has scored 180. Lovely. The second batting team, right? Now the teams have switched. The team that was batting is now fielding. The team that was fielding is now batting. The second batting team is chasing the first batting team's score. They get the same number of overs, usually. And I am talking in terms of World Cup, right? Test matches are a different thing that happen for days. We're not looking at test matches. You don't need to worry about test matches, ladies and gentlemen. This is a crash course. Welcome to cricket for the first time, potentially.
Cricket
if you want
101.
to learn more about test matches, Google and YouTube. They will explain much more. But this is Cricket 101. Basics, just what you need to know for World Cups. So the second team is chasing the score of the first team. It doesn't matter how many overs it took the first team to make that score. So if the first team got all out and they scored 160 runs in 18.5 overs, the second batting team in the T20 World Cup still has a full 20 overs to catch that 160 runs.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay.
Makes sense?
This makes sense.
Great. So you still get the same number of overs that you are meant to have.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now, there are 2 ways to win. One for each team, right? We'll start with the easier one. The first one is that you are the first fielding team and the second batting team. The first batting team has put up a score of 180.
Okay.
The second batting team, the way you win is before you run out of overs, you beat the score of 180.
Okay. Seems simple.
So the moment you hit 181, game's over.
Okay.
So let us say that, they have hit 181 and it took them 16 overs. Great, game's done. Doesn't matter.
Great. Games.
You don't have to play the rest. Game's done. Go home, pack up. Now, when someone wins like that, that is when you see the score and it says won by 6 wickets, won by 3 wickets. What that means is the second team caught the score, and this is how many wickets they still had remaining that they could have given.
Okay.
That's what that score means.
Okay.
Now, the other way, right, is say you're the first batting team. You have hit 180, and now you are the fielding team. You have 2 ways to win. Well, you have 1 way to win. Don't let them catch your score. You have 2 ways to accomplish this. One is you get all of them out before they can catch your score. Lovely, bada bing, bada boom, done. You get 10 wickets, fantastic.
Right.
The second way is that even if the full 20 overs get played, they still don't hit your score.
Okay.
So say that you scored 180 as the first batting team. The second batting team plays the full 20 overs, but they only score 173.
Okay. So, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So they didn't reach your score. That is where you will see the stat line that says won by 7 runs.
Okay. So if you're the second batting team and you win by wickets. And if you're the first batting team and you win by runs.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you win that way, if you win by getting them all out, is that wickets? Okay.
No, so if you win, again, the second batting team will only ever, so you will, in a score line, these are the only 2 ways you will ever see the score. It doesn't matter if they got all out. It doesn't matter anything else. These are the only 2 ways that you will see the score. If you were the first batting team and you win won by X number of runs.
Okay.
If you are the second batting team and you catch the score, and that is called a successful chase because you have chased down the set target, you will win by X number of wickets.
Oh. I like how who batted first is built in to the scoring, to the end result. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can always tell who batted first, even if you didn't watch the match.
Yeah, that's nice.
Just by that. So, yeah, that's the basic general thing of what you need to know about cricket. That's kind of how it works. It's a very fun, very fast-paced game. I know that there's like the joke that like it can take days, right? And it does take time, but there are multiple iterations of it now. You have the T20 World Cup, which is limited overs. Each team gets 20 overs. You have the ODI World Cup, which is 50 overs. And so each team gets 50 overs. That one happens once every 4 years. The T20 World Cup is supposed to happen every 2 years. Hasn't been, but like is kind of supposed to. So we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah. And then just to give some flowers, because it was an amazing tournament, and I am very happy because India won. So, oh man, dude, it was incredible. So, first flowers to the US team. They came in, it was their first World Cup in any format, and nobody expected anything from them. They took out Pakistan, who was a finalist in 2022, and they did really well. They made it to the Super 8, which, if anyone is confused, there are 16 teams in the T20 World Cup this year. Super 8 is the top 8 teams. It was the top 2 teams from each of the 4 groups. The USA managed to make the cut, and so they made it to the Super 8. No one expected them to make it to the Super 8. They did not do well in the Super 8, but that's okay. No one expected them to even get that far. Like, it was a huge win. Congrats to them.
Good job, guys.
Second big shout out that I want to give to is to the Afghanistan team. They played amazing. They made it all the way to the semifinals. They kind of got screwed over a little bit due to flight delays and things like that, and they didn't get to practice on the pitch before they played on the pitch. And so they had a sad ending to their World Cup. I was really rooting for them. I wanted them to be in the finals. I really wanted to see them beat South Africa and make it to the finals, but it didn't happen. But huge shout out to them. It's the furthest that they have ever made it in a World Cup, and it is the first time that they beat teams like Australia and England, and they were incredible. They bowled like nothing. They were just a very, very fun team to watch the entire tournament. And third, and definitely not least, was India. Well done to India. After 17 years, I think it was 17 years, if I have my math correctly, they finally won the T20 World Cup again. Let's go. They did it in dominating fashion. They did not lose a single match throughout the entire World Cup. Wow. They went completely undefeated.
That is...
They had a couple of close calls, but they pulled out the win. And what matters at the end of the day, as we say, ladies and gentlemen, a win is a win. So they pulled out the wins, made it happen. And just if anyone has the time and you want to see just bowling and cricket, like, it was beautiful. I highly recommend looking up, and I will try to leave a link in a description down below. Look up the highlights of the final match between South Africa and Australia. Huge flowers to South Africa. They played their hats off. And, you know, it's not really a spoiler because the match happened 3 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago. Something like that when this episode comes out. So not really a spoiler, but there was a period of time where, you know, India had set the number, I want to say it was 176, if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head. And, you know, that was already the highest ever scored in a World Cup final. And maybe in T20, I don't think in T20 cricket, but in a World Cup final, it was the highest run rate and highest runs scored. And so South Africa had their work cut out for them. They had a point where they needed like 25 runs from 25 balls or something crazy like that. Like, you know, you would have thought like, oh, South Africa's got this in hand. And the Indian bowlers just showed up and just took care of business. Bumrah ended up going home with the man of the tournament. He is the first bowler to win the award. He's also my favorite player, so like, woohoo! But he is the first bowler to win the award. He had the economy rate of 4.17 over the course of the tournament. Eric, did you have a question?
What is economy?
Economy rate is how many runs he gave up based on how many overs he bowled.
Okay. This makes sense.
So, yeah, it was by and far the best and the highest. Lowest. You call it the highest economy rate, but it's the lowest number. Welcome to math and words. So, they're confusing. Words are hard. But yeah, that means that he was bowling so well that he was pretty much giving up like maybe 4 runs and over.
Wow.
I think I read somewhere, I don't know if this is 100% factual, but I am pretty sure he didn't give up a 6 in the entire tournament.
Okay, wow. So nobody got essentially a home run off of him.
Sure, if you want to call it that, it's called a 6.
Yeah. Okay, yes.
That's the idea.
To try and Americanize a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to help out.
Learn cricket. Transform yourself.
To help learn cricket.
To help learn cricket, yes. It kind of, you can think of it as an equivalent to a home run. So like he did incredible, but also in that final over, it will probably go down as one of the greatest catches in the history of World Cup cricket. Surya Kumara, he was running back and right at the border. So if this is the boundary, he ran, he caught the ball. Miller of South Africa had hit a ball, and he caught the ball, took 2 steps, tossed the ball in the air, stepped outside of the boundary, and then came back inside the boundary and re-caught the ball to get him out. It was incredible, very impressive, super athletic. Like, yeah. And for anyone questioning, completely legal. So the only rule is that you cannot be touching the boundary or stepping outside of the boundary while you have the ball. Otherwise, it counts as a 4 or 6. And because he was never touching it, and when he was outside of the boundary, he never touched the ball, and the ball never hit the ground. In between all of this craziness happening, it was still a clean out.
Nice.
But yeah, an incredible final match. Ladies and gentlemen, please go check out the highlights. It was so much fun, and it was a great tournament. But yeah, that's Cricket 101 for you all. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will answer. Or I'll send Eric to answer with funniness. If I can't get to it. And then I will come back with an actual response for you. Don't worry, I will not leave you hanging. So please do let us know. Wonderful. Thank you all so much for joining this episode.
For anybody curious, I know I think it's called IPL, right? Mm-hmm. When does that happen? If
Indian
people didn't get enough cricket?
Yes. So, the IPL season actually just ended. Indian Premier League is what it stands for, and it's the cricket league in India. It is the biggest cricket league in the world. Also, it helps that there are more than 1.4 billion people now, and even if you cut that in half, very, very big population that will watch. So yeah.
Yeah.
So the IPL usually takes place during the summer months, so it takes place between March and May of each year.
Okay.
I guess that's the spring here in America. It's the summer in India. So,
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so it just ended just before the World Cup started. So it ended in May, and then the World Cup started in June.
March and May. That's such a quick season. Okay.
There are only 10 teams.
Ah, okay. And
there are matches very often.
Who should be the Seattle team? The Seattle IPL team. Okay, what's your team?
The Seattle IPL team?
Yeah.
Like, which team do I root for?
I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Who's your team? Who should we be rooting for?
So the team that I root for, and ladies and gentlemen, I have not fully followed the IPL. I am slowly getting into the IPL, but there are a lot of sports. And so as I was in India for the last 3 months, I got more into the IPL because I was there as the IPL was happening. So
Sweet.
I started rooting for the Kolkata Knight Riders for 3 major reasons, and I will leave you all with these 3 major reasons. Also, for spoiler alerts, they did win the IPL this year, so like, woohoo! But here are the 3 reasons. Reason number 1, their color was purple, and I like purple.
Hey.
Reason number
Reason you picked your
2,
college.
they had a no, but like, yeah, it works out. 2, they had a cool name with Knight Riders. And 3, which was by far the most significant, I found out my cousins didn't like them.
So you went and you were like, who's the Yankees? Okay, I'm rooting for the Yankees.
I knew nothing about it, and like, even when like they were like, because I would just hear them talking about it, right? And I didn't know who was in the final. I didn't know who was good. Like, I was kind of vaguely aware of what was going on, but I wasn't like fully aware. And so I was like, okay. And then it like just solidified before the finals of like, okay, I'm gonna root for this team because like one of my cousins was like rooting for the other team, and I was like, well, there's no fun in that. So I rooted for the other team, and but like, yeah, these were the 3 reasons. Like, I was already leaning towards the Knight Riders because of reasons 1 and 2. Reason 3 just solidified Knight Riders. Yeah,
Sweet.
But yeah, so we'll retouch. I guess next March when the IPL starts up again.
Yeah.
We will retouch and take a look. But thank you all so much for joining on this episode. Oh.
I was gonna say, if people do want to watch some cricket, although not as good cricket, there is a Seattle team playing right now. They go till the end of July. They have a very short season.
But you said they don't play in Seattle.
1-1. They don't play in Seattle. No, all of the games are in like Texas, so it's annoying. I want to really go to a game, or match. I don't.
Eric, just drive up. Like, I'll just take you to one, and you can play.
Wait, but they don't. Let's just play a real cricket match.
Just play.
I don't watch. Play.
Yeah, just play. You learn a lot more. Like, I mean, that's how I learned that I'm good at bowling.
Okay.
And like, I'm okay at batting, but it's mainly because I don't have as much practice. But I'm better at bowling just because of my tennis background. So,
okay.
Like, yeah. Look, as long as you field. As long as you field, I'm sure we can find a spot for you on the team.
I can
Eric,
try.
Are you able to chase a ball?
Yeah. Am I able to catch it barehanded? I don't know. But I will try. I'm used to glove catching a lot.
Okay. Well, we'll meet up. We'll practice, and then I'll take you to a match. How about that?
Okay. We need videographers.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Call Barbara. She's our only hope.
For the disaster that's gonna be me playing cricket.
She's just gonna be there. I need the emotional blackmail for later.
Yes, and then I'm gonna blackmail myself on the internet.
Yep, sounds about right. Wonderful. Thanks so much for joining, ladies and gentlemen. See you in 2 weeks. We're gonna be talking about the Olympics in 2 weeks. Until then, bye.
See you then.